of the internal whistleblowing system and its results and performance. Dear ladies and gentlemen, so what is our center? Our center was established quite a while ago, and its main purpose was to reduce bureaucracy, but now we work in 5 directions, namely anti-corruption, a review of reports concerning omissions by officials, also various inspections, and of course whistleblowing. But at the very beginning, irrespective of the fact that of the law, basically the law was not yet adopted, we had already taken internal action, and it was also made public namely that persons who believe that omissions by officials have taken place, that conflicts of interest have occurred, and we reviewed these reports, and it was quite a successful exercise, but with a condition that we provide this information to the respective committees of our city council. And once this information was submitted, the identity was anonymized, basically the names were removed, and thus we already met the law at that time. Also, irrespective of the law, we realized that we need internal rules and regulations. Especially, we focused on the following aspects. We have to cover the entire municipal network. So we should have more than one contact point, because the number of people working in the Riga City Council or under the Riga City Council is too large for one contact point to deal with that. Thus, in the bylaws, we decided to define, for example, for smaller bodies like Riga Energy Agency, like civil registry, and so on, all of that will be included in one central system where data will be collected and processed by our center. But in the case of large bodies and capital and municipal companies, according to these bylaws, each and every such body and organization would have to establish their own system. And we would also receive this information so that we would know the contact persons at the respective bodies. We were placed as a body that can be contacted for advice, and this is also taking place. The colleagues are really contacting us because you cannot know everything when a report is received. Basically, you need information how to deal with it. So our system consists of 2 levels, external and internal. Information about our system is available in a subsection of the homepage of Riga Municipal Council. So there is comprehensive information about the system, how reports have to be submitted, and so on. And we provide advice not only to our colleagues, but also to people, for example, who call us, because any member of the public can approach us, basically everyone who lives in the territory of Riga, and ask various questions. Quite often we are also called by people from other areas of Latvia just for advice, and we provide this advice. We also tell them how they have to deal with such cases, but the key word here is we protect people. We protect people by not disclosing personal data, which is the most important aspect. And second, our primary task, we act as a central body, as a central contact point at the Riga City Council. We review reports and information, and we have several ways to do that. Of course, it takes place according to the law. So one option is for a person to come to our office, and this person may not know how to fill in the form, so we help with that. It is also possible to send in an electronic report, for which we have a special email, and we also have a mailbox. But considering the information that was available about the State Revenue Service, namely that they had placed such mailbox in a video surveyed area. We took that into notice, so the mailbox is the area of the mailbox is not covered by video surveillance, and we empty the mailbox at least twice per day to make sure that no information is missed. Also, before the law took force, we were approached by people, and also afterwards. And I think I have to share a negative case or negative experience so that this can serve as a good lesson. The case is quite specific. Employee. This employee was working in one of city agencies. This person approached us. We told him what is whistleblowing. He didn't really understand that. So he just wrote a regular request. It was addressed to the mayor. We reviewed the facts, and we thought that there could even be an offense, criminal offense taking place. So investigation took place, assessment was carried out in this body, and it was determined that there could be a criminal case. Information was sent to the respective law enforcement body. And when the law took force, this particular body did not recognize this person as a whistleblower. And this information was made public since inspections were carried out, and eventually this person lost the job, which is deplorable. But speaking about our system, we have quite clearly defined a system. It is safe and secure. Anyone can approach us, anyone who is employed by the municipality. If, for example, they don't trust that the body will review the report properly, or they fear being identified, they can always approach us, and this is taking place. This year, we have received 9 such reports, 9 people have approached us, of which one was forwarded to the respective body. We did not review it. Of the remaining 8, one was not found to be in our mandate, but the remaining 7 were found to be whistleblowing reports. And what is the result? Which is, of course, the most interesting. So far, in the case of 6 reports, we have litigation ongoing. Of course, the court requested these materials, and we provided them. In the other one, in the remaining one, this was a very interesting case, and there was very good cooperation with the contact persons from the Corruption Combating Bureau and also the State Revenue Service, because the report contained information about employment relationships, about possible tax avoidance, as well as possible conflicts of interest. So all of that was split among several bodies. We received this information, we received feedback from these bodies, and the conclusion is quite simple. Basically, the environment that was problematic was improved, and this has been going on for 10 years, and now it has been improved. And this person was made subject to the whistleblowing protection. So in this case was quite positive. So what do we need to guarantee? Yes, some may say, you can leave this information on the table and nothing will leak. No, this is not going to happen. In our body, we have a specific safe that is designated for the whistleblowing reports, including all the media. And we have a specific designated person who registers this information. And only the head of the center or the person who registers these reports have access to the safe. In the center, we have 5 employees. of which the other three are also entitled to review the cases. So we all come from law enforcement. So we also have a criminal procedural experience and legal experience, and we have experience working in municipalities. So it is easier for us to review the case and make a decision to be sure that the report is a whistleblowing report, that the evidence confirms that. And in this case, evidence is very important because it allows us to understand whether we have a whistleblowing case. And our results demonstrate that because we have 7 whistleblowing reports already this year. We were also concerned about documentation of this information, like emailing, protections, whether we can enter this information in the general database, how it's going to be protected, who will access it, whether the administrator will not be able to access it. So eventually we decided that no electronic recording will take place. Everything will be only on hard copies. We have a special log where this information is entered. But if the report is sent in with a secure electronic signature, the information is deleted from the systems. And this information is limited. Of course, keyword here is as a pseudonymization and awareness. And we have quite clear definition. We have a combination of 3 letters. For example, in one case that I also reviewed myself and where we had very good cooperation. In this case, as a result of standardization, we had agent 007. Another important moment is that people always expect feedback, is that, you know, they will have immediate feedback and will be reviewed promptly. But in this case, this report was reviewed from the 1st of January until the end of September. So it's much more than 2 months. We cannot just tell you now in 2 months what is the final report.
So the first, when we receive this information, we process it with the competent institutions, and we are trying to also make sure that our suspicions is right, and we ask them to validate whether there is a violation or not. And next is that people, if they don't understand that it happens so, they want everything to happen so quickly. They don't understand that it takes a long time, and then they turn out to the public and they disclose publicly, and then they are identified. So I also wanted to draw attention that we need to think what is the deadline to give feedback to the whistleblower, because about one report we still don't have an information what is the end result, because the criminal proceedings were initiated. The law enforcement institutions cannot give us information, but we need to provide some feedback, because the person who is a whistleblower doesn't understand. So what is going to happen? It's already been a year in one report and no result so far. And what are we looking forward to? So we have submitted also amendments for the law, and we have assessed recommendations and proposals. And also, according to the amendments, we will have to change our system a little bit internally. And the colleagues who spoke before, they used one keyword, which I also understand, that they understood that training for employees has to be organized, training about whistleblowing questions, so that it's not like that colleagues who speak up to me at the workplace and they ask what's the best, because there is a bossing and mobbing and people speak about it and they are afraid. They are afraid. I would like to emphasize that they are afraid. People are worried that maybe I would be identified and then later I will have problems in finding job. So for that not to happen, we try to assure people. And how you can do it during the training. So one of the good proposals and recommendations for the future similar to the corruption prevention issues, which says that once every 3 years there is a mandatory training. I would like to take this also into the consideration according to in relation to whistleblowers. So those who start working, they understand, they learn about this opportunity, this possibility, and then their employees are also trained what's the best way, how to do it. And as to the corruption, it is clearly defined that training how to recognize corruption is organized every 2 years, and we will do the same also about whistleblowing. And also there was a very good question asked to the people um, who presented before me. So should we also train contact persons? Yes. So thanks to State Chancellery, there was a little training, and we consider that this training has to be organized much more often because there are nuances. Sometimes contact persons are afraid. If I make a wrong decision, because if I recognize this as a whistleblower or not, people often don't understand what happens later. So if we don't recognize and acknowledge it as a whistleblowing report, anyway, we work on the merits. And sometimes we do checks on possible corruptive activities and other. And one of the key words is the information which we received from the colleagues. Either it's through the whistleblowing channel or just simple reporting as to a certain official or employee. So, like I said, the key word is training. Don't be afraid to inform colleagues that you should whistleblow. Don't be afraid. Don't wait too long. And protection, how it happens in the future, I hope that this protection will be ensured. There is one case in the court right now, and it will be one of the good indicators how the whistleblower is protected. And we will have to inform the society so that everybody knows. And this is a good practice example. So, just in short, this is an outlook what we have done here in Riga, and it's quite a lot. There could be much more problems, and we have only 9 applications, and we have information that there are problems at working places, and there are managers who are creating problems for people, and people are concerned about it and so on, but they are not telling, not speaking up. But people have to speak about it, because if you are having this mobbing or bossing all the time at your workplace, this causes problems not only for you in your working environment, but also all around. So please, you are welcomed. Riga is open. We see there is a lot to do yet. Thank you very much, Aigars, for sharing with experience from the Riga City Council about emphasizing the necessity of training and also support. We have received a couple of questions, and the question is it useful and needed in each department of Riga City Council to have internal training system? Maybe we could join together between various departments. Yes, we've been working with this system only for 1 year, and only from the practice we can learn whether it's useful to have it in each department or not. Just this keyword is that people are afraid that I would be identified in my working place. This is the largest problem. And we are like a central figure, and people trust us more. And we receive phone calls, and we feel that people don't trust in their working environment. They are afraid. So when we do anonymization and when we prepare the document for the further examination, we should prepare it so that it's not clear who has written, even that whether it's female or male or who has written. And there are issues with that. And in in the Corruption Prevention Committee, we will analyze this issue and we will improve the system. So yes, definitely we will improve the system. One of the viewers said that joining those together that could also improve the system. But the question, what are the main questions and clarities which come from the institutions or agencies? From the agencies and institutions, they often don't understand how do we recognize it as the whistleblowers report, and they don't understand. And the second issue, most popular issue, is a fear when we contact the employee after he had whistleblown, he is like, yes, but there is a limited circle of people who are working with this document, and if the problem is how to do everything so that the person is not identified. But in cases when the report is not acknowledged as a whistleblower's report, it was discussed a lot yesterday. Also, we discussed what to do if the whistleblower's report is not acknowledged as a whistleblower's report. So how do Riga City Council react if the report is not acknowledged, the whistleblower's report, but still there is information about some kind of violation? Like I said, we have various directions of action. Before we had whistleblowers law, we also examined such reports, and we are directly subordinate to the head of the Riga City Council, and mostly those submissions were addressed to the deputy mayors. And we usually examine those and we recommend what should be done next. Of course, when we examine such submissions, we also discovered that there are violations, and this is a decision of the management, the mayor, or also other managers, what to do if we see that there is a violation. But of course, there are also submissions which are written just to write something, where just people are just complaining because they dislike somebody, and we identify that. So circulation of documents is quite huge, and there are quite a lot, and we have to be able to distinguish in cases if this report is not considered and acknowledged as whistleblowing, then we have to see whether it's useful and meaningful to work with this report, because there are sometimes people who are just writing for the sake of writing, and there are a lot of people in every institution, every place, people who are writing just for the sake of writing. Thank you, Aigars, once more. Be successful in what you are doing, and please